Hello lovely boaty people, we are Chris and Bex. We recently traded in our jobs and day-to-day lives to go and live off-grid on this beautiful narrowboat. Only problem is, it's not that beautiful. Yes, we were sold a dud, but we're just cracking on with it now. And yeah, recently would be roughly about a year and a half ago because it's taken blimmin' ages trying to refit this whole boat ready to live our lives as continuous cruisers forever. And yeah, does a living at a marina class as off-grid? I don't think so. So Becca has completely refitted the kitchen using reclaimed materials, and we're now coming on to the last little bit of refitting the floor. And yeah, these are the old ones too. We've sanded them up, they look lovely and new. Only problem is they don't like fitting together anymore. So yeah, in the last episode we whacked a load down and then we've had to start ripping them up again. And yeah, by ripping them up, I literally ripped it up. Poor Bex. You can see a pretty big gap starting here, and it needs to be sat right up against it really. So get them all up again, what do you reckon?
Just snapped it, it snapped the board.
Where? Oh, that one. Sand it, sorry. But it's a new day and new minds will prevail. So my snoring room has been updated now to the main bedroom. Poor old Bex is still lumbered in the living room until I sort out these nostrils. And the sleeping bag I'm using here is an absolute godsend. My mum gave it to me. She knew I was getting cold on the boat. I said, you can't use a sleeping bag, but I'm telling you, it's amazing. You keep so warm in the thing. Another new addition to my daily routine, socks on socks. Yeah, it gets pretty cold these days on the narrowboat, and I'm growing wiser with my knowledge of tackling these issues. I have learnt a particular set of skills that I have acquired over the last 2 weeks, skills that make me a nightmare to live with. Again, another new device I've recently discovered, labelled Chris from Mum. And even though I get a cracking night's kip after discovering these amazing new 2 devices, the sleeping bag and the hot water bottle, I was kept up a bit last night. So all night could hear this banging noise going on. Subtle banging noise. I'm going to go and investigate. I don't know where this noise was coming from. Maybe like something going up against something. Can't hear it at all now. Which begs the reason must be coming from the wombat. What do you reckon? Bloody dripping in the bilges again, could you imagine? Bloody mess on this roof. We've got rakes, we've got nets from when things have fallen into the river. You'd have a little tidy up. I mean, look at this. This is awful. Pretty sure not that many other narrowboaters' boats are this scrubby. There's the rake again. Again, no garden, but we've got a rake. Just weird, isn't it? Look at this. I wonder if it's that. Did you hear that knocking last night?
No, I couldn't hear anything.
And you thought I was bad for having my name on my hot water bottle. Check this out. Where's Humphrey? Look at that! I mean, everyone needs a Humphrey, don't they? I can hear it again. I can hear it inside the boat, can't hear it outside the boat. How odd. It seems like it's probably coming from the boat because you can't hear it outside. You can hear it subtly inside. You guys probably can't even hear it, but looks like we're stuck with that for life then. Like I say, a very interesting life.
It's a fresh day after what was a disaster in the last vlog. Not only did I manage to smack myself around the face with a bit of wood as I was pulling out a nail and end up with a humpback eyebrow, but I also wrecked my back and have been in agony for a week. But I am back, determined to get this flooring down with the help of little Chrissy Crobot in the background there. So let's go have a word. Alright, you, relaxing by the fire. So today I'm really going to need an assistant.
I'm ready! I'm always ready, you know me, I'm game, aren't I?
Chris is going to be my gluer today, I think, probably.
I'm always here to help. But first things first, let's get a bit of brekkies in, eh? Bex's one. My one and Becca's one. Here we go. There's your one. I'm only joking, you get the nice one.
Thank you.
And this should get us nice and ready now to start tackling that really big job in the kitchen that involved me damaging one of the boards when we were ripping them up. So Becca's whacked a bit of glue on here, good as new. It's not a problem, we fix that up again quickly. And now onto the actual real proper job of the day. The kitchen's tongue and groove. Let's get these down. Okay, glove me.
There's a madman on the boat.
Are people getting fed up with all the crazy glove stuff? It's a bit weird, isn't it? Glove fetish channel. We've got a spin-off channel. The Missing Glove. That's a good name for an episode, isn't it? One glove goes missing. A marigold has gone missing on the Wombat.
Glue operative's instrument. Here we go.
Oh, God! It's 2 o'clock now. We started this at about 10ish. But we are learning, aren't we? Are we learning, Bex?
So I think we've sort of come to the conclusion that owing to the fact the boards are recycled, there's bound to be little bits of warping here and there, so we're just going to keep it as aligned as we can and just hope for the best. Work on each board sort of individually and take it step by step sort of thing.
And remain positive in any situation. It may need to come up again.
It won't come up again.
Out of every job we've done on the Narrowboat, this one seems to be the hardest one, I think, because you get to a certain point when it's going really well and then this happens.
Actually, to about where that arrow is. You can maybe just make out here there's just a slight step between these two boards, which will obviously then affect the next line of boards that go on because it will throw that line out slightly. So we think this board is slightly wonky, so we're just sanding along the edge to make it a better fit.
Yeah, last time we were up to the exact same stage and we had to rip them all up again after about 4 hours work nailing them all down. So we've got a new little strategy here. So where some of the boards are wonky, there's a gap in between, and it seems to be the tongue and the groove sort of getting in the way of some of these, so we thought maybe it's good to sort of cut a bit off and grind a bit down here and there. I'm not quite sure if this is the right thing to do, but we don't have many other options at the moment. It's only the odd one. About 4:30 now. We're doing well, aren't we? We've been learning. Time for me to man up and start doing some of the nails.
See, what did I tell you about? I will pull that out. Pull it differently. Try and straighten it out a bit.
What do I do to stop to correct it? Because I don't want to bring all this up.
Want me to? No, careful! Don't push again because you'll knock the board. Right, you take that.
Second try.
Camera, you take it.
Yeah, it's probably best for Bex to crack on with these nails. I haven't got the patience for them.
Doesn't look like we've done a lot, but there were some very cheeky little floorboards in here who gave us lots of problems. So
let's see, when will Crobot crack?
We've managed to sort of sort that out, get all the alignment nice, and I think with any luck it should be a bit more plain sailing from this point because we've got a good basis to work from now. So
we spent the first sort of 3 hours of the day laying bits down and then pulling it up and learning from our mistakes, didn't we? Because we cut a new bit of wood out thinking that would save it. So, and then we done other little bits, but you know, that's all part of the process of learning how to do it, I suppose, isn't it? And getting so that we know what to do the next time. So it has taken a little bit longer, but at least when we hit this now, I think it seems a lot smoother.
yeah, because I mean the other thing to bear in mind is this is sort of recycled flooring, so it's already been laid once. and cut and stuff like that, so it's not going to fit together as perfectly as if it was brand new. It's, you know, its age betrays it at times, and there's a little bit of warp in here and there, so we just have to sort of treat it a bit more like board by board kind of thing, and alter anything as and when we kind of come across it.
Okay, day 2. Is it day 2 or day 3? I've completely sort of lost the plot with this floor.
Day 2. Beef this up a bit because it is cold today.
0 emissions, digitally displayed. If you hadn't noticed, I'm very cocky about our digital carbon monoxide reader. Who has a digital one? So in a moment we're going to try and complete the floor, but before that we've got a couple of little jobs we've got to take care of.
Have you had away with my jacket?
Oh, here you go. You ready, Commando Bex? Boy!
My superhero spin. Ta-da!
Hang on, one more thing. Catch!
Just call me Vera and be done with it.
All nip the B&Q.
I like that you're embracing it.
The first things first, I just want to get this last worktop fully secured down because I haven't actually done that yet. So I'm going to get Chris to sit on it so I can screw up from underneath, and then we'll get back to the flooring.
So we have cleverly used our old kitchen worktops as a kind of stilt for our new kitchen worktops. So we'll drill in from underneath into the old one, and that will hopefully go into the nice new one on top, which Bex has made, and that will keep it all secure and stop it from tumbling down one day. Again, time for me to take over. I failed with hammering in the nails. Can I succeed with the screw? Which one would you say is harder, guys? Hammering in a measly little nail or screwing in a screw? Because the boat's from the 80s, obviously, these are asbestos. Little joke there, because I'm not wearing a mask. Here it goes! Why don't you sit on it? Right, that's straight in the asbestos top there. So they say there's a rule about laughing at your own jokes. How does poor Bex put up with me, eh? So these backboards are now being done. Bex had to go in the cupboard to drill one in from the other side. Don't go through my hand! There we go, that sits all nice and tightly now. And that brings us on to a very exciting other job. So a couple of months ago, Bex put this beading under here that shields us from the evil, disgusting old worktop. I mean, now come to think of it, is beading just a fancy way of saying I'm hiding a bodge? This is the area of the old worktop. Look at it under here, it looks disgusting, doesn't it? Yeah, we're hiding it, thank God. That's a pretty good theory on a skirting and beading, isn't it? It's just there to hide a bodge, isn't it? It's the moment you've all been waiting for, guys. It's beading time with Bex. Come on, you.
Hi guys, and welcome to today's show. I am going to show you how to attach some nice wooden beading onto the side of your cabinet so it hides the ugly worktop underneath.
In some ways, this is a pretty hefty crowbodge, isn't it?
Well, it isn't. I don't really think of this one as a bodge because there was a purpose. We could have taken that old worktop out and just fit this on top, but we wanted to raise it, so why not just use the height that it gives you?
Yeah.
A much easier way around it, so...
You can make it look like there's actually a proper nice wooden oak surface underneath.
You can. No one will know a thing.
So I think I was meant to be stepping up to the game a little bit more, wasn't I? And I was meant to be trying to do a few more bits, so it seems Becca is doing the brunt of it again. I'm gluing. But this has always been my dream, actually. I know me and Bex often go off and we do our own little things, but I like doing it together. And Bex is always like, well, there's no room for two of us in here. And then I've got to go off and do hatches and stuff and end up buggering them up. But here I feel quite safe because I don't feel like I can do too much wrong.
It's just not practical for both of us to work in small spaces at certain times, so...
It's just not practical for me to work with you, Chris. It's a small space, isn't it? So I do get it.
So I've come up with a A slightly, what I believe, genius way of getting around a problem we keep encompassing. So when we're butting up the length of boards like this, occasionally you'll get one where this juts out just a tiny bit, which of course means that when you put your next panel here, there's either going to be a gap or it's going to throw out the alignment. So to get around that problem, which is I think just born out of the fact that they're not brand new boards, I've been using this file, which is sort of square, and just hitting down the groove. I'm taking down the groove just a little bit, which just seems to help them fit in better, and then they line up more. So it works, so I'm happy with that.
Some would say she's slowly turning into me. Oh, it just dents it down.
Just dents it down a tiny bit more.
Yeah.
So when it connects with the tongue, it'll sit in just a tiny bit more and correct that step that I just showed you there.
Yeah.
Because obviously trying to cut a bit out of this to make it deeper is going to be hard without something like a router. We'll just go the old-fashioned way.
Whack it and hope for the best, I think, isn't it? So after adopting our new bodgy boaty methods, I was outside with the old orbital sander, sanding the old groove, and Bex was inside with the dremeling away, sanding away at the tongue.
Yeah! Yay! High five!
Oh yeah! Things had started to have a little bit of a turnaround and really started to come together now, but we still hadn't got as far as we wanted to, and the next step was Bex's hatch. Do you remember the underfloor hatch that we've got to do, that we're coming up to? Yeah, Bex has got to create a whole new sort of border for this. I love it, Bex is doing it all, isn't she? Today we have made great progress. I mean, this is half of it done, and the hatch at the end there is going to be an absolute pain in the butt for Bex.
The culprit of which is this. I think this must just be sitting ever so slightly higher at one point, so it's just making the board rock.
Nothing covered up in the kitchen. Let's go. Let's get sanding inside. This is exactly the way you do it on a narrowboat. You don't care about dust.